Hello, and welcome to Let's Build the Burrow from the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. Um, this is actually the second attempt I made at the Burrow because the first one I got the outside done and I was like, okay, let's save the game. And then the game crashed. It was very sad. It was very, very sad because I actually kind of liked the outside of that one better. And I guess I could have looked at the video right, created it, but then I ended up changing some things and I don't know. I like both, I guess, but it's just rather interesting. So this is somewhat based, like the Dursley house I did, number 4 Privet Drive, this is somewhat based on what we see in the film, or I guess in the Lego games, because I've played the Lego games quite a bit. Um, I got 100% in the years 1 through 4, not the other ones because I moved and I didn't take the Xbox to Korea with me. But this is also sort of based on my own ideas and my own, how I pictured it reading it from when I read the books as a kid and as an adult and listened to them on CD as an adult. Um, and I'm one of those fans who I enjoyed the movies, but I've only ever watched each movie once. I'm not a huge movie fan just because, I mean, I like the actors in the roles except for, screaming Dumbledore and Goblet of Fire, the fourth film, because of course he said it calmly, but whatever. I'm gonna leave that. See, here I am. I'm saving. I'm like, I don't know how many times I saved, but I saved a million times while building this. Um, so yeah, there's the whole Weasley family sitting down there, minus Ginny because she hasn't quite come along. I'll go in and add her to the family later. I did because you can only have 8 Sims in a family in The Sims 4. So, and the Weasleys are technically 9 with 7 kids and 2 adults. So I made the 2 adults. I made the first 7 kids. Bill was an adult, young adult, and then he moved out. And then there's room for Ginny. But I hadn't done that yet because I wanted to build the burrow first. Here I am. I use a lot of stuff from Windenburg. I do go with the film's idea that the shed is kind of a like metal garage thing. Yeah, here we go. Got a lot of ostentatious windows and such. I kind of went with the idea that the first floor was the original part of the house, and then they added the second floor, or maybe the second floor was part of the house with the first floor. It's why it's got the most support and makes the most sense. And then the other floors they just keep adding and adding as they had more kids, and it got a little weird in terms of design. Oh, yeah, here I'm like, oh, I can stack the windows because I move objects on. And I'm like, wait a minute. Well, later you'll see me move them again because I realize, oh, I can't actually see in half the windows because they space through the wall. Or the wall spaces through them, I suppose. I'm using those big new windows from the Laundry Day stuff pack. They work really well with the Windenburg Gothic style stuff. That's lots of support structures. I try and get another one here and build like one on top. Oh yeah, you'll see. I'm like, do I really have move objects on? Can I do this? But then I end up deleting this and it deletes the columns too. And I'm like, ah! I want to put 2 columns there. I suppose I could have gotten away with something, but it just wasn't working, and I didn't want to make a column out of walls. I wanted it to look the same as the rest, and then I was like, whatever. It doesn't need a column. It's magic. It's being held up by a column of magic, because it is Harry Potter. Oh yeah, I do different woods. Like each time they built it, they couldn't quite match it up. Which, of course, makes sense with the whole lackadaisical Weasley style. I thought about putting one of the floors on like an angle, but I just didn't. So see, here we go. The base floor is nice stone. Everything else is wood. It was originally a little cottage for 2 people, and then it kind of grew, which I don't think the Weasleys set out, Molly and Arthur, I don't think they set out to have 7 kids. Here I am coming out, saving. I don't. Saving, so much saving! This is a bit of a long video at 29 minutes and 42 seconds. It wasn't quite long enough for me to cut it in half and make it 2 videos, but it wasn't quite short enough. Oh. And here we go. We're getting the floors in, I'm like, arg, I don't want the roof showing through the wall, but I like the thick borders on the roofs, and getting frustrated, and then I ended up making them thinner so they don't show through the walls. Like, why? The roofs don't show through the walls when it's a real room. Why do the roof trims? It makes no sense. It's stupid. It's like, whatever. So yeah, here I go with layouts. Um, this makes for some interesting rooms. There we go. Oh, the door to the bathroom. Whoa. Wow. I always yawn when I do these things. It's so silly and weird. So yeah, get very odd rooms. This place is wait a second, how many bedrooms? We have the parents' room, we have Percy's room, Ginny's room, Fred and George, Bill and Charlie, and then Ron. So that's five bedrooms? Yeah. I had Bill and Charlie sharing because I saw it as maybe they weren't originally sharing, or they weren't originally sharing when, the family was smaller, but then they had to share, and they weren't going to be with the twins. You'll eventually see Ron's room has two beds in it, because of course Harry slept in there too, so there had to be a bed. My reasoning behind that is that that was originally Percy shared with Ron. Percy would have shared with his older brothers, or they would have had their own room, and he would have had his own room. But then when the twins came along, can you imagine Percy rooming with the twins? No, there would have been fratricide within hours. Yeah. There we go. So I'm trying to. These are not the beds that stay in most of the places, but I do try and get the beds in so I know which ones are the bedrooms and how the layout's going to be and such. Oh, wow. Maybe I need another cup of coffee. Wow. Yeah, so here we go. This is the top floor. Oh yeah, I ended up originally planning to give Bill and Charlie their own rooms, but then well, Bill's technically moved out, so it's just his extra bed in Charlie's room, and maybe there's some of Bill's decorations on the wall that Charlie hasn't bothered taking down. Yeah, so I completely redo this, move it over, make the little landing that way. Yeah, there we go. I thought that worked better. hmm And then Bill and Charlie, even though they had to share a room eventually, and they were on the top floor, farthest away from Mom and Dad, and they have their own little private balcony, which you can only get through their room, and they weren't going to allow their younger siblings to come in the room. There you go, the twins. This is the twins' room. I don't do a lot of decorating in terms of knickknacks and family photos and stuff, because the way, you could do The Sims with photography and add wow and add family photos and things to the walls, and I think that would kind of be cool, but I just didn't add a lot of pictures. I kind of left it personalized or unpersonalized, because what I plan to do with this is do the little Harry Potter Let's Play and maybe add decorations as we go, personalize it for the family as things move along, because of course Charlie will be moving out by the time Harry's old enough to visit, and I'll just slot Harry into this house as the 8th sim, and it'll work pretty well. There we go. I was gonna make it all lackadaisical and rounded, but I thought the square looked better. There we go. Little windows, because that'll be the bathroom. The ground floor plan actually changes quite a bit, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's too big. I don't like it. It's too big. The first floor cottage, it doesn't fit. Like, the upper floors are so cramped and small. The bottom floor should also be cramped and small. So I just move everything in one square, make it smaller. Well, on 3 sides. There we go. And I think it gives it a cozier feel. And it does have a rather large bathroom on the bottom floor. Which I kind of see it as maybe that bathroom was directly attached to the bedroom, and then they cut out the bedroom and they put the stairs in and part of the living room. And what becomes a game room downstairs is was the living room, the parlor, whatever you want to call it. There you go, and then fireplace. I don't know what it is with the chimneys. I place a chimney, and then I decide to move it, and then it starts up hovering in the air. and I have to delete it and build a whole new chimney. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll put a giant billboard. I don't know why I was doing that. I think I was going a little build crazy. Trying to find the best fireplace. No. I like the Christmas one. I thought about decorating the place for Christmas, but just didn't work. So we got two different chimneys or fireplaces. One's I think one of the originals, and then the other one's from the Pets and Dogs. Pets and Dogs. Cats and Dogs. Wow, pets and dogs. That could have been better. Great, Katie, Rose, Caitlin, whatever I want to call myself. I've got 3 names. Woohoo! I'll really hide from the. I don't know. Wow, I just lost word. Okay, yeah. So I'm widening up the kitchen dining room here because I've got to get a big table in there for the Weasleys. You need a big table. And I suppose it would be separated technically, but it doesn't have to be perfect, and sim sizes don't always fit with regular sizes. Like, I start thinking about making a model of my house, and I'm like, well, so there's the front door. The front door is probably a 2 wide front door, and then there's 3 wide windows, and then there's wall space on each side, so that really should be like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 wide. Oh, and then 8 because there's like a closet there, which there's a wood. So, my house should be 8 squares wide. And then I start doing the math of the furniture in it, and I'm like, well, no, this couch sits 3 people, so that takes up 3 spaces. But in real life, because of the way it's placed, it takes up like 2 spaces. Like, what? What? I don't know. It just doesn't quite fit. The cabinetry, because of course Mrs. Molly Weasley needs storage. I wish there was a range hood that actually fit the old style stove like that. And I am glad we have like that old style stove and fridge in the game. They probably made them just to put it in the goth house because they are in the goth house. Yeah, I move it there. Dish rack. I tried to go as low tech as possible. You do see me put in a stereo at one point, but I was like, it's the Wizarding Wireless. I thought about putting in the phonograph thing that we have from, oh, good lord, I don't know what it was from, but a little phonograph thing, but that's on a table, and nah. I put a modern looking one in. Feel free to change it. I might change it eventually too. It was just from a gameplay standpoint of the phonograph one I think breaks more often because it's cheaper. But, it's not like I'm playing with money with these guys. Here goes another save. Lots of saves. Because I really, really don't want to lose the house again. Really don't. Oh, and see, this is one of the ones where I didn't actually start with the bathroom. I started with the kitchen. And I just realized that. That's very different. I gotta get some more decorations up. That looks cool. I think that one looks better, though. Those are 2 ornates. I'm going all over the place here. Turn off the grid lines because they're useful, but they don't look nearly as nice. Oh yeah, here's more stuff from Cats and Dogs. So this house uses a lot of the get together and the Cats and Dogs stuff, just because it best fits that sort of rustic, old school style. And then of course the radiators from vampires. Because you need radiators. I mean, they probably use magic, but they're magic radiators. They don't use real water and stuff, but they need somewhere to put the charms. They need something to put the charms on and for the charms to, attach to, because it's easier to have a magical artifact, because a child can operate it without a wand. A child just, they just touch something on the artifact and it starts heating up and they don't have to do any work. Well, which is something, Molly and Arthur would prefer. Maybe if they only had 1 kid, they'd be fine with having to cast warming charms all the time. But with 8 kids, no, they don't got time for that. Nope, nope, nope. It's got to be easy, something that, oh, the older kid who can't use magic can do it for them, or the kids can do it on their own. Very independent. You notice that? Even as mothering as Molly Weasley is, all of her kids are very independent because you have to be when you have a large family. Um, I've only got 1 sister myself, but I grew up in a single family home where my mom worked, and then she got injured in a car wreck and and technically disabled. Technically, legally, physically, yeah, she was disabled. um, and you have to you have to become independent. You have to be able to stand up and be like, okay, I got to get my own homework done because no one's got time or the ability to sit down and tell me to get my homework done. They've told me, get your homework done. But if I don't do it, it's not going to happen. It takes a few times of going to school and not having your homework and being embarrassed about that to maybe make that sink in if you're as stubborn as I am. But, it happens. Oh, and here I am fighting this stupid floating chimney again because I just wanted to move it to line up with the other fireplace. Stupid floating chimney. And of course, you have to have a radiator in the bathroom. Have you ever used a bathroom that isn't heated? It's a freaking nightmare. I lived in South Korea for 5 years, about 5 years, 5.5 years, and bathrooms there aren't typically heated. They're kind of like outside, and the whole room is a wet room for most of them. I mean, some of them have separated showers or baths, but the whole room, like the room has a drain in the floor. It's meant to all get wet. And so our bathroom was on the edge of this house, edge of our apartment building. It didn't have heated floors like the rest. There was no vents in it because, our heating system was through the floor. And it kept the rest of the apartment pretty warm, but the bathroom was ice cold. And then, like, our water heater was in the kitchen, and the kitchen wasn't really heated either. It was the kitchen with the laundry room and the water heater and stuff. It was something much bigger than the bathroom. And so it took forever to water to heat up in the wintertime, and then it never even got that warm. It was pretty miserable. Very, very miserable. And to the point where the first time when I came back, and I came back to the States this past year, and it was winter time, and it's, 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside, which is about -1, -2 Celsius. And I got in the shower and I turned on, it got hot water, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's freezing outside. There's ice and snow, and I'm in a warm shower. Oh my word, this is like heaven. You don't realize how much of a luxury a hot shower is in the wintertime until you don't have it for years. Yeah, it just, like, there's a reason we would pay to go to these places called jjimjilbangs. Oh yeah, here we go. Percy's room. I'll go through and say which room is whose. I'm getting distracted here, but oh yeah, kids' toys. I'm just putting knickknacks. Now here I go. I'm just basically going through um, rather than go through as a room, I just kind of go through the stacks of clutter and put things where I think they should go. I haven't really put lights in. Like, there's no lights in the master bedroom here, and I'm going around in the dark. Here's some lights, old-fashioned lights. The only things that are new are the anti-nightmare lights for the kids, but that's kind of yeah, we need that because it's annoying to have the kids waking up with nightmares all the time, or nightmares and monsters in the bed. Yeah. Oh yeah, those little herb things. I love that from the new Laundry Day pack. Little coffee thing. You gotta hang coats. Oh yeah. And the shed gets a little bit of decorating. Garden hose. It's a magical garden hose, right? Of course it has to be. Just trying to find something. That looks kind of cool, the shadow boxes. And it's something that's, not extremely personalized. The rugs. Oh yeah, the kids do get a science, or the twins get a science table for their experiments. They're starting young. Ginny's room. Ginny's room is very bright and colorful, and she's got more personalized items because Molly's like, a girl, a girl. I don't have, and she got things new for Ginny because that was something that was mentioned in the books, especially in like book 4. Ginny gets brand new dress robes, while Ron has to get, or Ginny gets used ones or something. No, no. So Ginny also got used dress robes, but there were more choices, and she was along, so she got to pick them out. I think she was along. I don't remember. No, I don't think she was along because they were at the Triwizard Tournament. But her dress robes were nicer. And Harry's were, of course, the best because Molly was using his money, which they never answered that in the book. How did she get access to his money? There's a lot of fan fictions that go along that, and they bash the Weasleys and turn them evil and stuff. I think it's more, Dumbledore was his guardian, and so Dumbledore gave permission. But yeah, let's not get into that. That's a whole other kettle of fish. And yeah, here we go for Ron's room. I got that little weird or stick out thing. What I stick in there? And I think about sticking a mirror in there. I don't stick a mirror in there. I stick a mirror in Bill and Charlie's room. Because, as they got older and started having their own life. Oh, and this big, just giant wardrobe just stuffed in Ron's room and the bookshelf because that's just left over from Percy when Percy was sharing with Ron. Because the room that Percy's got downstairs is more like they just closed off part of a landing. It's not even really a room. But Percy was like, I need my own space. I need it. I must have my own space because I cannot keep sharing with a little kid. Because Ron is, of course, like 5 years younger than him. 4 years younger than him? Yeah. So while Percy was going off to Hogwarts at 11, Ron was 7 and more interested in, toys. And Percy's like, it's not conducive to studying. I have to get my homework done. So his parents got him his own room, kind of. They just kind of squeezed it in there. It's a very weird, long room, but it's his and only his. There it was for a second. And then there's the toddler's spot in the master bedroom. Oh, and here we go. Kind of blah furniture. There's not kind of enough chairs for everybody. But, you could always just stick some more chairs in there. There's only the 5 seats. Instead of, you're missing 4. Oh, there goes another save. Maybe someone's counting to see how many saves I do during this. Hmm. Oh yeah, here's the stereo. Yeah, I probably could have done the phonograph thing, but I just didn't care. You know Arthur Weasley. It's probably was a Muggle radio, and he just took out all the electronics and fiddled with it and made it work with magic. That's something Arthur Weasley would do. I really think about changing the fireplace. Oh yeah, this is kind of the game room. Like this was originally the parlor, and they changed it around. Like maybe the fireplace was really like the kitchen was smaller, and they've redone all of this downstairs, but they don't have TV or they have the radio and that's it. So they've got game tables because you need some way to get your fun up. If you don't have a way to get your fun up in this game, you are SOL. An interesting, funny thing is up until I was 22 years old, I thought SOL just meant so out of luck. And I got in trouble for that because I was like, oh yeah, you're SOL. And someone was like, what? Don't say that to me. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, that's so wrong. I'm like, so out of luck is wrong? Like, yes, it means shit out of luck. I'm not cursing on here because who knows what little ears are listening to something about Harry Potter and whatnot. But I didn't realize it meant a very bad word. Because, of course, when I heard my parents say it, they lied to me. Why can't, parents say, oh, that was a bad word, you can't say that, I'm sorry, I should not have said it. Like, what's so hard for a parent to say that? Why do they have to lie and say, oh, it means so out of luck? And then you get in trouble because you believe that for 10 years. Yes, I have issues. Oh, I do have the laundry. Because, you can take that out if you don't want to deal with the laundry. There's only one laundry basket, I think, in the house, which is in the ground floor bathroom? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, more kind of covered patio area. And here we come with the dirt. Oh yeah, I'm trying to find one that fits. As if it was sort of worn out. I don't do a huge amounts of landscaping here, not like some of the Burrow examples I saw on the gallery. I do get a trash can in. I don't remember if I get one in the kitchen, maybe. But it's just a nice little house. And I don't do the huge amounts of landscaping because you kind of need room. There's space for a garden because you can picture Molly Weasley having a garden. There's some big, lovely trees. There's a little bit of flowers, kind of wild around the front walkway with grass and more flowers. Just kind of like it's just spread naturally, which is what I was trying to go for. There's some grass and flowers here. As if Molly went out and planted some seeds. She was tending them for a while, and then they just kind of took over because she got busy. There's got to be some place for the gnomes to live. I should have stuck a gnome or 2 in there. Oh, maybe I'll do that before I actually start playing it. And then here I go with this, like, gigantic... here we go. Like, I kind of like what I did here. It's just this big pile of bushes. There's a potty bush in there. You see that? And there's my little hidden cat and dog. They're hiding. Go with some flowers around it. There we go. I like that. And then there's some grass. I do put some flowers in there too. Just lots of little, kind of overgrown flowers. There's some heather or lavender. I'm not sure which one it is. It looks kind of like both. They're both kind of similar from a distance. And of course, the most important part we have to have, oh, no, not the birds. Not the bird wash thing. Oh, there's the wood. Firewood. That goes in Ginny's room. I'm like, oh, that would look good in Ginny's room. So, yeah, you see me get distracted with stuff. Come on. Oh, yep. I was going for the car, and then I got distracted. And yeah, here we go. Ron's got a bunch of posters, most of them sports stuff, I think is what I tried to do. Yeah, because he is a huge Quidditch. I love the fact that I have the Harry Potter poster on there. I think it's like Gary Potter or something. I don't remember. Charlie is of course into animals because there are no dragons in The Sims 4. Maybe magic is coming. I don't know, but yeah. Oh, and then the top floors had the most wear and tear because there is the ghoul in the attic, and he's done some damage. You know, just structurally, and there's lots of cracks, and it's all being held together by magic. I thought about putting it in the rest of the house, but the Arthur and Molly, they see those floors more, and they were like, oh, there's a crack. Bloop! Reparo! And get it fixed. But no. I'm trying to turn the tree so it doesn't go through the house. Is here where I finally put the car in? Yes, there we go. There it is. Yep, nice Ford Angula. It's not the right one, but it's close enough for The Sims. And then I just stick a bunch of stuff in there, like, you know, not a bunch, some stuff, some clutter. A little bit of clutter here and there, not too much. Probably looks a little silly. There's that plant was sticking through the wall. Bothers me. Come on. There we go. Toothbrushes. Because there are only 3 bathrooms in this house. Which, I mean, isn't too bad. With 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, meant for 8 Sims. Technically, you could have more than 8 Sims in there because there's... oh yeah, I'm testing. Woo! And here's the pictures. So there's our beloved outside. And here's from another angle. You can see the little the little deck upstairs. The back garden. Ready for you to, you know, plant some things and have a good time. Here's the front entry from the front door. And then we get to see the front entry from the other way. Kind of planned, but you can hang some photos and stuff. Make it personalized. The game room. Again, you can personalize it. It's sort of a stepping stone. The kitchen, the dining room. Nice and cozy, and I don't know, it just feels very homey, which is what the Weasleys is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be homey and comforting. Here's the living room, which, you know, you could always just cheat and mount a TV over the fireplace, but yeah, it's not really supposed to be. And there's a duck, just a duck on the top. The downstairs bathroom with a lot of stuff. Oh, and here's the top landing, or the landing on the first floor / second floor, whatever you want to call it. The bathroom, which is for the parents and Percy. There's Percy's room. Look at that. That is ridiculous. It's just this long room. The parents' room, Molly and Arthur, which is kind of cozy. There's a little kids area, which even after she doesn't have a toddler, she kind of leaves up because it makes her feel good. Here's the landing in the next floor, the 3rd floor, 2nd floor, whatever you want to call it. The bathroom up here. That was a hard photo to get, and it kind of cut out the toilet. Here we go. There's Ginny's room, which is kind of like the coolest decorated, and she's got this little art nook because it was just leftover space. Here's the deck, which is kind of like the outdoor hangout spot for the kids, with some flowers and such on it from the laundry day pack because they just look so good at this. Oh, here's the twins' room. Clothes just kind of hung on the wall because there's no room for dressers. And you just kind of make do when you live in a small space like this. Oh, and here we go. Here's the 3rd floor landing. The top floor. Oh, and there we go. There's Fred. There's Charlie and Bill's room. And there's the other side of their room. And then here's Ron's room. And then the bed Harry sleeps in when Harry stays. And next we're going to go to overview shots of the floors. So I want to say I hope you liked this. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. If you have any suggestions, let me know that too. There will be a link to download this down below from the Sim Gallery. I hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a good day. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.